Hello, everybody. This is Pete Fondler from Illinois Central College. I'd like to give an update on the project we've been working on there at ICC. If you look at where we've done our work, this is a video I'm going to show you of the wetland that we've completed here this past summer. The wetland, basically, as you can see, is kind of aesthetically pleasing because it's along a main road through our college campus, but it also yet does its job of being very functional and cleaning the water that goes through, cleans all the water that comes out of our 50 tillable acres on the ICC campus. I'm just going to show you a video here real briefly. You can see there's a deeper pool there, the closest to you on the picture there in the lower right. There's a small island there on the upper right corner. There's some ducks in there right now. And after the video is done playing, I'll show you a little bit of a picture here at the end to kind of show you what this wetland really does and how it functions and what the future plans are for this wetland. So basically, like I said, it's just now getting completed and actually starting to become very functional at this point. Okay, so here's a view of the wetland from the opposite side of the drone footage of the drone video you just saw. And I kind of give you an overview then of all the different parts and pieces to this wetland. So if you look at the upper right corner up there, where the first red arrow is up here, kind of where the cursor is, that's the inlet water control structure and water sampler. So basically the main tile line comes in that drains all the 50 acres you kind of see above this wetland up in there in the pictures. So basically as there's water coming through that tile line, the water control structure will control that water going into the wetland. An automatic solar powered water sampler will pull samples out, and therefore we can tell then the nutrient concentration and the flow entering the wetland. Once the water samples have been pulled out and put into bottles there in the sampler, then the water will flow from that water control structure through the underground tile and enter the wetland there at the inlet where the inlet pipe is marked there on the map. And as you can see right there by the inlet control structure, there's a deeper pool of water. That deeper pool there is designed because this wetland does take water off the whole entire tile system, and we do have some standpipes on the campus. So this deeper pool is designed to remove any sediment that might be coming through that tile line. Therefore, if futuristically we ever have to dredge some sediment out, it should all be contained in the deeper pool instead of within the whole rest of the wetland. Then the water is going to flow kind of in a zigzag pattern there. You can probably see my cursor. It's going to come over this direction. It can go on either side of this island, which makes it stay in the wetland longer. It eventually is going to work its way down this way around this little peninsula you see, back up here, and to the outflow pipe, which is right here by the cursor where it's moving here. And again, as the water then flows through the exit tile, it goes through this water control structure and automatic water sampler. And again, we'll be pulling samples out there. And then we'll be able to compare the water leaving the wetland to the water that entered the wetland through the other water control structure up on the north end, and see how good of a job this wetland's actually doing at removing all the nitrogen, phosphorus, etc., out of the tile water. Once the water is done being sampled here, it continues through the tile, through this big berm, and dumps out into the road ditch through the outlet down here at the bottom of the picture. As soon as it enters that road ditch, there's a big culvert right here that goes under the main road and goes into the pond across the street here that you can't see because it's just outside the picture. During maximum flow rates, the water can go out the spillway here if too much water comes that the tile is can't handle it all. There's an emergency spillway to divert some of the water out of the wetland and prevent damage to the wetland itself. As you can see at this point in the picture, the wetland is fairly full at this point. The reason being, when this photo was taken, this was just about 48 hours or so after we had a 7-inch rain on the ICC campus. So basically in one rain event, we completely filled the entire wetland. And obviously it's quite a bit actually went over the spillway in just that one rainfall event. So give you an update then of where we're at this point. Starting here at the end of August, the water samples will be put into full effect, and we'll start sampling all the fall rainfall and fall water that goes through the wetland. And all that water, again, will be analyzed for nutrient concentration, both on the inflow and the outflow of the wetland, to start collecting data on the effectiveness of the wetland. We are not expecting, obviously, to see any big results this fall because the wetland plants are still establishing, and the microbial population in the soil in the bottom of the wetland still establishing as well. So pretty much we should be just this year establishing baseline data then therefore next year and the year after, as the wetland improves and all the microbial population of the plants develop to their full potential, we should start seeing good results either next year or the year after. But with that, that's kind of a good overview of where everything sits at this point. Thanks for listening, and I'll be sure to share more in the future.